The wheels are the most important part of your bike, the hub's the centerpiece, and also the most expensive part to replace. They hold you up and they transfer the energy you create to the road. The word bicycle literally means a two-wheeled vehicle that you sit on and pedal. Yet they're all too often neglected until it's too late because of water ingress and or corrosion. To make matters worse, most hubs are neglected from birth in the factory and they seldom recover. Welcome to Tour de Bike Stage 4. Today I'm going to show you how and why you should be getting some extra grease into your hub bearings. And the best part is we're not even going to have to dismantle them completely. This pertains to all hub bearings, including sealed ones. It's the equivalent of using silicone in your bathroom between your waterproof tiles and your bath. Because the wheels are new, we're just going to open them up and take a look at why we need some more grease in there and just pump a load in. There are rough bits at this stage, but by the time we're finished, your hubs will be running smooth as silk and will last a lot longer. You've just got to become the bike. Okay, so drop your wheel out and you want to take the skewer out of it, and then you want to remove the cassette, which I'm going to do on the vise, and just set both of those aside. That cassette really wasn't that tight. And then we're just going to be working from the non-drive side. Don't do this from the drive side, you must do this from the non-drive side because you can't get into the cones and lock them up when you're done if you do this from the drive side. Remove the seal or the rubber boot if there is one there with the small screwdriver. Be careful, you don't want to damage it. And now that we've got this open and we can actually turn the axle without the boot on it, you can feel that these bearings are tight and rough. So we need to adjust them as a bare minimum. This will make the wheels last longer, run smoother and run faster. In this case, it's a 15mm cone spanner and a 17mm lock nut spanner. That's pretty common for rear wheels. So you want to put them on the axle where they need to go and then break the hold between the two. I hold the cone spanner with a couple of spokes. You really don't want to slip here. Doing it like this on the floor is the safest way to do it. Remove the lock nut and any associated washers or spacers and put them on your bench in an orderly fashion so you can see what order they go back on the wheel in. Holding the right hand side of the axle and keeping that cone inside the hub, you want to undo the left hand cone. Now it might be a bit tight, so you might have to start this off with a cone spanner. I usually start by pushing the right hand side of the axle against the bearings and then spin the left hand cone off of that. You don't want to take it off the whole way. I'm only taking it off so I can show you how much grease is in there. And you can tell there's not much because we can actually see the bearings. Get a load of grease into the hub and don't be stingy. I'm using a grease gun, but you could just poke some in there off the tip of your finger. Then you want to screw the left hand cone all the way in while holding the axle still so it doesn't disturb the bearings. Get it all the way in so it butts up against the bearings. This will hold the bearings in place for the next bit. You just want to wipe away any excess grease. And then you want to turn the wheel around and hold the left hand cone against the bearings and then just screw the axle out from the right hand side by actually holding the cone still and turning the axle. You want to do this so you've just got enough room to get some grease in there. And again, don't be stingy. While holding the left hand cone against the bearings, you want to screw the axle back in from the right hand side. This will stop the bearings falling out from the left hand side while still keeping the grease in there. If you feel like you're getting benefit from this, please share the video with someone you think would benefit from it as well. Refit any washers or spacers in the order they came off in, back onto the axle on the left hand side, and then refit the lock nut as well. Now you just want to tighten them together and then you need to adjust them until they're smooth and have no play. I have a video on that which I'll leave in the description below. Refit any rubber seal or boot if there was one. Now you just want to clean up any grease that's left after you put the seal back on and turn it round to the drive side, and if there's too much inside where the lock ring screws into, you just want to clean some of that out as well. It won't hurt to leave a little bit in there. If you've had any aha moments, you can just drop them in the comments below. Now I'm going to get the front wheel and I'm going to do exactly the same things to it, except I'm going to work from the drive side rather than the non-drive side because that's where the most grease is likely to get, and I don't want to get that on the rotor because it's just more to clean up. Now these wheels will be smoother, faster and last heaps longer. If you've got hubs with sealed bearings in them, you just want to take the end caps off from both sides and then just get a bit of grease above the bearing and then push the end caps back on. That'll help keep the water out for much longer and make the hubs last much longer. You don't want to end up in a situation like this. Thanks for coming with me on this stage of Tour de Bike where we visited the hub regions, namely the bearings. In stage 5 of Tour de Bike, we'll be visiting the hub area again, where we're going to do a few little jobs before we put the wheels back in the bike. We'll be visiting the small areas of the skewers, the cassette and the rotors. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do that now.